which is fine because what that does is it pushes us to a point of having to level up and actually provide not only a great product, but provide a level of insight and education for our clients so they can understand why what we're creating for them is of high value to them. And then also we have to now position ourselves in a marketplace to continue to stay competitive and create solutions that help our clients get the problems that they need solved. I am Antoine Davis, managing partner at Fourth Park. We are a branding and marketing agency, and we specialize in helping companies, brands, and organizations better align their branding, marketing, media, and design efforts. And today, the topic of discussion is a term that for the designers on the video watching, I'm sure you know, but for everybody else is like, what the hell is that?
Me.
Right. We're gonna be talking about UI, UX design. So this term is actually, it's been coined and put together as like a package thing.
Yeah, because like UI, UX, I see them tell me just like a whole bunch of letters. Like,
right,
what?
you
and I.
Your ex, my ex? Who ex? What? So UI, UX, I'm gonna give it just a quick like off the top of the head definition so people understand what it is. So UI stands for user interface. So it's user interface design. And that gets into the visual aesthetic layout and flow when you're on a device, whether you're on a computer, a tablet, a phone, where you're seeing the screen, the colors, the boxes, the margin and height of certain things, the placement of certain things is all the actual interface. It's what's interfacing, what you're facing and seeing visually. Some might even call it like a layout. Others might just say, hey, this is my website, or this is the app. The actual tangible components is the interface.
Is the UI.
The UI, user interface. So that's what that is. It's the visuals of it.
Okay.
Now the UX part is, they both coincide one another, but the UX is the user experience.
Okay, so that's how we're interacting
Yes.
with that layout.
The UI, right. The UX is thinking from the lens of the user's experience of that actual interface, how they're flowing and how they're behaving. So this whole UI UX thing is, I mean, I wouldn't say it's new as in like recent years, but it's new as in like recent decades. Like that term hasn't been around for like forever. It's become a mainstream term in the design and tech community because now there are people who actually specialize in UI UX. There are people who actually go and get degrees and have certifications in it because most of us are interacting and interfacing in this.
Every day.
I mean, I don't know how many of y'all walk down the street, you go in the coffee shop, in the restaurant, it don't matter where you at. You be in the movies, somebody in their phone. I find it amazing. I'm just gonna say this. There's such an immense and massive world around us, but we have literally been conditioned to spend so much of our time in something that is this small of a screen. You know, this is actually a bigger iPhone. This is like the iPhone 14 Pro Max.
Okay,
This the big boy.
Flex this.
Pro Max,
Tell me how much space you got on it.
This one, when I got this at Apple, I was like suited up. I want max out on everything. This is the 1 terabyte. So this, it came with all the bells and whistles.
Terabyte in his hand.
Now they selling phones for the price of like suited up laptops. At one point, you could just buy a phone. It was the price of a laptop. Now these phones are like suited up laptops now. Like it's like $1,700. It's crazy out in these streets. It's a different world we live in.
Wild.
But what we do most of the time in these phones, no matter where we at, whether you're inside of a social network like Instagram or you're recording a video like TikTok, or you're, inside of a task app or a reminder app, or you're setting a reminder, a time in your clock, a reminder your clock to wake up, or you're in your music app, Spotify, Apple Music. You as a user are interfacing, you're interacting, you're experiencing a particular type of layout and view. Somebody had to design that. Somebody had to code that functionality. So we talk about UI, UX. It's the methodology, the science, the process, the engineering the thinking behind the creation of what you see. That is why this is such a major skill set. And for the average designer, a lot of designers, you know, we all come into this business doing graphic design. I started out doing flyers for a church, you know, banging out flyers for $75 a pop at that time. And like everybody else, you get the design software. I was doing this at the time when using Photoshop, I was using this called Logo Creator. It was a design. I'm about to date myself.
You was using what? I don't even.
It was called Logo Creator.
Logo Creator.
I'm about to date myself. I bought this software at Circuit City. Circuit City is out of business. But you can't even
find no Circuit City on them days.
They don't even exist.
What?
It's Best Buy now. There was a Circuit City in my hometown, and I went and picked up this software called Logo Creator, and it was the cheesiest limiting software in the world. It was damn near just like a step up from clip art. But I was using this to like make little graphics and visuals because I was sick of using Microsoft Word to make little things. Like I've been doing this for many years, but that's what I was using back then. My point is the evolution of design over the last 10, 20 years, just not only in people's skills, but in the tools that we use has evolved so much so over the last 10, 20 years. You know, so now you have people who come in as graphic designers.
Right.
That's kind of like a base level.
For everybody to come in.
Then you would level up to like more of like your brand identity design. These are designers who make identity marks and logos and, you know, brand identities like that. And that's kind of like a level. And then some graphic designers, as they move into that phase, will pivot over into the web piece. Because that's what I did. I made that adjustment and went right over into the website and started doing, back in the day, it was Wix and blogger.com and, you know, building little blog sites with that. And then WordPress and Squarespace and, you know, Framer. There's all kinds of things out right now that people are using to build sites. Some people pivot over into that lane and go web. You know, that was my personal route, which that route is still user interface heavy, still UI UX heavy, but you classify yourself as a web designer. You know, that's what you do, web designer, WordPress designer, whatever. But there are those who have made the pivot over into UI UX, where they've actually gone and gotten that added certification, where you're actually studying the thinking, the methodology, the science, the philosophy, all that kind of stuff behind the why. Why do you make this particular layout like this?
Right.
What is the customer or user that's coming to this layout? Who are they, and what is the experience that's best fitting for them? What is the actual proper flow for what they're gonna be doing on this particular layout? There's certain workflows that are totally different on certain type of applications. Like if you're going to shop, that user experience is different than if you're going to like watch a video, or if you're literally on a social network and you're just trying to like scroll through and comment. The user experience changes based on what that user is trying to accomplish, what the objective is, and who that person is. Exactly. Beforehand, there was no thinking to that degree. There was no, you can go get a certification on nothing like that. You just will be in your house figuring it out on your own. Like, shit, I think they need to do this, so I'm just gonna build it like this. So there was a whole lot of division and chaos in the user experience online during the earlier days of the web. You know, the earlier 2000s, prior to the year 2000, it was just a more chaotic experience because there wasn't this level of information and knowledge. Now, if you look at most of the apps that we use, they all follow a certain, we don't even know it. It's actually just an understanding. There's a certain level of intelligence and information already available on how to build out applications and websites so that the user experience is not too, you know, we're not deviating too far off, from what we're used to. It's not so complex or weird. Like, all right, when I go to a social network, I know I'm scrolling through a feed. You know, that's been that flow.
Exactly. And so, and then even just to comment on that, like nowadays, like the standard for even just web design now is like a lot of people don't like to do a whole bunch of scrolling to get to just certain information. I know a lot of our clients, that's one of the main things they say when they ask us to come in and upgrade their website. Like, hey, this is our old website. It takes too long to get to the point. We need to get our UX.
Right, there you go.
So we need to get our UX to where I'm learning to where when they scroll, they get exactly what they need to get, and is getting them to lock in and buy in or get the information that they need to know.
Right. And what he's saying, I'm glad you brought up that point, because getting back to like our line of business and what we do with our clients, and this is why I see now we're getting some stuff that I can really speak on. Like, it's frustrating because what I just shared, that level of intentionality and attention to detail, the amount of time it takes to know and understand what you're about to do when you're about to build out a site for a client, or even if you're working with a template, because I don't want to downplay our template users. If you're working with a template and you're going into WordPress or Squarespace or Shopify. Come through now, come through. That might be a brand. Shopify. So whether you're going on Shopify and you're building out a site using one of their themes, even with these templates that are pre-built, there's already some level of insight that has been provided to you. But as the designer, as the creative, you have to take that and now enhance and storytell for the purpose of your particular client. So the point I want to get to is like, it's frustrating because all of what we're talking about, most clients don't have any knowledge of what it takes to get to that end product. It's just like, we just need a site that just does this. But to get to that end result requires, one, a person with the kind of experience and time and expertise that when they sit down in front of their computer and open up that laptop and start creating or brainstorming or wireframing, which is another part of UI UX designing, where you actually, instead of actually designing true elements, you're really just kind of almost even with a pencil, if you think of wireframing, just lines. You're literally drawing and creating lines to showcase placement, movement, and flow. Even with all of those type of things that go into creating the wireframing, the storyboarding, the concept design, the mocking up those first couple of pages, the insight and forethought that comes into that, the knowing your customer and understanding your customer and target audience, and understanding you as a client and what your services and what you're offering and how that user flow should speak to that. All of those things are like those hidden unknown intelligences, you know, like, and it can kind of be disrespected in our field because it's just like all they see is just at the end of the day, does it look good, you know? So I understand we live in a day and age where people I just want to look good. I just need to make sense. I just need to be easy. But to get to that level, you know, sometimes we have to let and even bring our clients into some of that process for them to see what it takes to get to that level. It's very involved and it's not easy to do, which is why, and I'll be honest, there are a lot of low-hanging fruit entry point designers that have stepped in that don't have a respect for the skill or the industry. It's just, I can throw up a quick thing, make a quick buck, charge $200 or $300, and it's saturated the market, which is fine, because what that does is it pushes us to a point of having to level up and actually provide not only a great product, but provide a level of insight and education for our clients so they can understand why what we're creating for them is of high value to them. And then also we have to now position ourselves in a marketplace to continue to stay competitive and create solutions that help our clients get the problems that they need solved. Because I've had plenty of clients who've worked with designers and different creatives who've just kind of thrown up a thing or thrown up a site. And when they get to us, it's like, when I get on the site, all this shit, it's just all this content all over here and all over there. I don't want to be all over here. Like, I don't know where I'm at. Like, it's chaotic, it's confusing, you know? And in most cases, the person behind the scene who built out that version of the site wasn't thinking about UI, UX. They weren't sitting back thinking about the layout and flow. How do you create proper placement? Is there proper margin in the left and right, top and bottom for every element that's being added? Have we thought about when a person is actually scrolling through their phone what that experience is like versus if they're on the desktop what that experience is like?
That's two different experiences in themselves.
Right.
And you got to make sure that both of them work and don't compromise each other, right?
Right. That the site is responsive enough and it speaks to viewers viewing from different devices. So when they come to us, a lot of times that's the frustration. They're trying to figure that out. So I would just say at the end of the day, if you're looking for these type of quality site app experiences, if you're trying to do this yourself, UI UX is something that you might want to start researching and learning more about.
For sure.
So that you will know, okay, I want to work on this project myself and do it myself. Okay, that's fine. It's a DIY project. You want to build your own site, work on your own app. That's fine. Do that research so you can understand the things that you might not be mindful of in your creation of it. Mm-hmm. On the other side, if you're looking to hire somebody to do that for you, that's still something you should be aware of and know about. Just take some time and do some research around UI, UX so that you can understand and appreciate the art and the engineering and the creativity that goes behind this kind of stuff, because it is vital and it is important. And so, yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think.
That's good and informative. Now I feel like I know a little bit more now about
right.
UI, UX. I feel like I can go out here and I ain't finna do that.
Right.
That's not my ministry.
That's not your ministry.
That's not my ministry. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the people who do that do that. But ministry. Yeah, definitely, that's beautiful.
Right,
so
right.
That's great.
So thanks for tuning in. If you're still watching, please hit the like button. Also subscribe to our channel. We're putting out a lot of videos like this. Mm-hmm. Also share this video on your social media. Let other people you know who may be in this field or may be looking for these types of things. And this kind of education is important going forward. And also leave us a comment. You know, if you've ever worked in this capacity, maybe you're a designer, creative, you're familiar with UI, UX, tell us your story. How did you get started? I'd love to know. Also, if you want to work with us at Fourth Park, you can always reach out to us, and there should be a link in our description below. You can come and join on with us, and we can work with you on a project and awaken possibility together. And once again, I'm Antoine.
I am DeKeldrick.
And we're Fourth Park.